WordPress 6.5 came out recently, and in this video I want to show you 5 changes or updates that will impact the way you use WordPress going forward. Let's get started. So there are a lot of updates that came in WordPress 6.5, and I'm not going to cover everything in this video, but the 5 things that I think that will change or impact the way you use WordPress going forward are these that I'm going to be covering in this video. Number 1 is the new site icon location. Remember, within the classic themes, you had to go into the customizer and then go around looking for the site identity, then look for where you can place the site icon. The good thing now in WordPress 6.5 for both the full site editing or enabled themes and also the classic themes, you are able to upload the site icon right within the general settings of your website. Right over here, I have a website having the 2024 theme, which is a full site editing theme. And when I come right over here to settings, general settings, here we have the option to upload our site icon. So if you are wondering what the site icon is, this is the icon that appears over here in the browser tab when you open up any website. For instance, when I go over here and open up my website, right over here is the site icon. And if you are wondering how it looked like before WordPress 6.5, here you go. We had no option to upload the site icon within the general settings of WordPress. The other exciting update that came in WordPress 6.5 is the option for us to upload custom fonts and even being able to download and install Google Fonts within WordPress. But before I demo for you how that looks like, I have to mention that this option is only available for themes that are enabled for full site editing. So if you're using the classic themes, then you are not going to see this option. So right over here, I have my 2024 theme active, which is enabled for full site editing. And by the way, if you're wondering how you can get a theme that is enabled for full site editing, so if you come over here to wordpress.org/themes, so you go to the themes directory, then come here to the filter feature or the feature filter, and then look for full site editing themes. Just select this option and then apply the filter. That will give you the option to choose any of the available themes that are enabled for full site editing. But there are 2 of my favorites. There is one called Brixie and one called Spectra One. So Spectra One is another theme from Brainstorm Force, apart from Astra theme, which is a classic theme. Now we are going to come over here in the editor. Then we'll click over here to the styles. Then click on this pencil icon, which says Edit Styles. It will open up this side panel and you will see that we have this option, or come over here to the option called Typography. And you see that now we have this new option over here, which calls for the Managing the Fonts option. So once you click here, now we are able to see the fonts that we are already using or that came with a theme that we are currently using. We are able to upload themes. We are able to upload fonts. These types of fonts, TTF, OTF, WOFF, and WOFF2. Alternatively, you can install straight from Google Fonts. And here it says that to install fonts from Google, you must give permission to connect directly to Google servers. The fonts you install will be downloaded from Google and stored on your website. Because of privacy issues, the Google fonts have to be downloaded and stored on your website locally. So here I can say allow access. Now I can go straight in here and look up for any kind of fonts that I want. In this case, let me say outfit. Here it is. It has 9 variations and I can select maybe all the variations and say install. Now, if I come back over here and select, for example, the font that I've just installed, you see it is right over here and it is in my library, or it's in my fonts library on my site. And if you're wondering how that fonts feature looked like before 6.5, so right still under my design system, under styles for my full site editing theme before 6.5, when you clicked on edit styles and come to typography, you see we don't have the option to manage the fonts. Good. Now, the other thing I want to show you that came in WordPress 6.5 is the ability to view our website template files in a grid, in a table format, and also with previews and all that. And I think this is something that has taken a long time to come because we've been having it in Elementor. Of course, that is a totally different topic, but we have been having it over there, and seeing it coming in 6.5 makes me so much happy. First of all, you should have a theme enabled for full site editing. So already I have my 2024 theme. It could be any other theme. Let me first come over here to themes. I will add, let me say Spectra 1. So I have it now installed, activate it. So let's go and look at how we can view different site files and templates and patterns using a grid view or a tabular view. So I can come over here to editor. I'll come and open, for example, templates, and I'm going to say manage all templates. And now you are going to see that we have a new option over here, which is a settings option where we can manage the views. Before 6.5, this is what we could see. For example, when I come to manage template parts, we don't have the option to manage the previews. Like you see over here, we only had the name of the template, the pages and everything, and the name of the author, but no option to change the preview. Now we are seeing it here in 6.5. And when I click over here to view options, we can view in a tabular format or in a grid format like this. Furthermore, you can as well choose to filter by the template or by the author. So just like this, or alternatively, you can say, for example, if I switch back to table and I come over here to fields, the preview in a tabular format, we also want to have a preview, the description and the author. So when I enable preview, you see that we have it in a tabular format, but we also have the name of the template and the description and also the author. So if you have different authors, this could also enable you to filter by the authors. So for example, author in ascending order, and then you'll have different authors listed in case you are working on a big project that requires different authors and contributors. That's how you can see how different site parts and template parts are looking like within WordPress 6.5 and going forward. The other feature that I think most of you designers and users will be excited about is the option to be able to rename the blocks. Before 6.5, we have not been able to rename our blocks within our websites. So it doesn't matter whether a classic theme or a full site enabled theme. If, for instance, I wanted to give a name to this, let me say paragraph, instead of it just being called paragraph, I would want to rename it, and that option has not been possible. And for instance, if you wanted to have to rename a group, it was possible only for the group. In this case, let me say new group. I save it, but for the sub items in that group, it was not possible to rename those sub items inside the group. Now we are able to rename the items that are inside the group or the sub items and also the individual blocks outside the group. Let me show you how that works like in WordPress 6.5 going forward. So here I have my WordPress 6.5 enabled site. It doesn't matter whether it's a classic theme or a block or a full site editing theme. So for instance, this block here, when I click on the options, you see we have now the option to rename this. So I can say edited content. You see, that has now changed. And let me say, for instance, if we create a group like here, I can say group them. And now inside that group, I can decide to rename each of these differently. So for instance, I say rename this and say sub 1, sub 2, and I can just simply click on the 3 dots and sub 3. Good. Oh, I would also want to rename our group. I'll say group 1. So if you're working on a huge project and you want to have your layers, in this case they are blocks, this makes it really easy for you to find out which groups or patterns or whatever you are working on than just having a general name like paragraph or content or whatever WordPress was generating before. Still talking about that, they also made an improvement, and this takes us to our next feature, which is a smooth drag and drop experience that is now happening in 6.5 when you are working with these blocks within here. Before I demo that for you, let me first take back you to before 6.5, how that was. You see that plus icon and the paragraph being dragged around with a blue highlight. Yeah, that's not that intuitive. But in 6.5, I've seen something that makes me even feel better about WordPress and working within block themes. So for example, when I want to drag this whole group to somewhere, maybe before this group, when I start dragging, let me first close it up. So you see how that now has changed. So I'm dragging it to this group before this group. And you see how everything is just moving below. It shows you that, hey, this group is actually going to be placed here. And let me just look up for, let me say this paragraph, if I'm moving it between the cover, the two cover blocks or patterns, and you see in the preview, it moves the other block just below before you actually release the button to place this new paragraph. I think I like this because it gives you a real-time view of what is happening on the site than before, how it was just showing that blue highlight and the plus icon. You know what I'm talking about, like I've shown you before. And now that will take us to the last feature that I think I need also to mention, because if you are working with content sites and if you are adding links and internal linking and everything, there are some things that you don't realize that you missed until it comes out in a new update. So if I wanted to add a link like to this anchor text, website may collect, and the link is, let me say, my website. Now, when I add that link, just like this, you see that now we have a new option to copy that link. And even the preview of the added link has been made to look better in 6.5. Before this, let me just take you here to this other page. And this is before 6.5. This is actually WordPress 6.4. If I would want to add a link, so for example, to this anchor text, and then I say add, and then I say add this, you see how it would just disappear without even any preview until when maybe I click and then I have that preview, and then I don't even have the option to copy that or that URL that was added. Now you should forget about that, because now we have this nice looking preview and we have also the option to copy the added URL and use it like anywhere else in the blog post. So now that sums up everything that I wanted to share with you in the WordPress 6.5 update. Like I have already told you, there are many updates that came in 6.5. I'll be leaving this link to the documentation of WordPress 6.5 from WordPress themselves, and see more of those changes like the possibility to add shadows to images, and also the interactive API like I have mentioned, and a lot more. But I thought I would share with you some of those that I found interesting, that you would also find interesting to know about. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you liked it, make sure that you give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and see you in the next video.